World Bank data shows that India has become the world's sixth biggest economy, pushing France into seventh place. The good news is that India's gross domestic product stood at 2.597 trillion US dollars at the end of 2017, while France's GDP was 2.582 trillion US dollars. The bad news: value of India's economy per individual or India's per capita GDP is 20 times less than that of France. India, with around 1.34 billion population, is poised to become the world's most populous nation, whereas in French population stands at meager 67 million. Economists say that the spurt in Indian economy was driven by manufacturing and consumer spending after a slowdown blamed the demonetization of large banknotes at end of 2016, as well as a chaotic implementation of a new tax regime, the GST. According to the International Monetary Fund, India is projected to generate growth of 7.4% this year and 7.8% in 2019, boosted by household spending and tax reforms. The world expected average growth rate is 3.9%. The London-based Centre for the Economics and Business Research, a consultancy, said at the end of the last year that India would overtake both Britain and France this year in terms of GDP and had a good chance to become the world's third biggest economy by 2032. And at the end of 2017, Britain was still the world's fifth biggest economy with a GDP of 2.622 trillion. The US is the world's top economy, followed by China, Japan, and Germany. India has doubled its GDP with a decade and is expected to power ahead as a key economic engine in Asia. Even as China slows down, but it will take India decades to reach the kind of prosperity Chinese enjoy. So that's the good news which is coming in. But it doesn't make that spectacular difference to an average person's lifestyle. I'm joined by Suyash Bhatt, finance expert, an economist from Mumbai. Suyash, tell me that in terms of making a difference to an individual, one, and secondly, the fact that we have surpassed French economy. How should we see this development?
Good afternoon. So, I believe it's any such news of beating top five developed nation is good news. Though the margin would be not more than 15 billion US dollars that we are talking about. But I believe at the beginning of the year itself, World Bank report had said that at the end of this year, India may beat not only France but also UK, and I believe one of the prediction has come true, and very soon we may even surpass the UK economy. And when we talk about per capita income, I think that's really not comparable, because we are talking about second largest populated country, and I mean, if you talk about 2.5 billion dollars, it's really a very small figure that we are talking about when it comes to per capita income. But what really is something which we should aim at is, reduce the gap between India and China, which China stands at 12 trillion US dollar economy, and we are, I think, not even half of that. So, at the current level, we are, you could say, close to 1/5 or 1/6 of size of China. So, if we can aim to become something like China, that's something which would really translate into common man's per capita income changing, and really changing something at a grassroots level. But I believe that's a tough call, and there are a lot of structural changes that may have to be made to reach that kind of level, because it took almost 1 decade for us to double our GDP from 1.2 trillion to 2.5 trillion. So I'm not sure if you have to reach, if we grow at this scale, I think it will take 100 more years to reach at where China is today. And by then, I'm sure China also would have grown. So we really need to do some structural reforms to boost this growth path. And if we have the largest or the fastest growing GDP, we need to make certain changes, especially even in today's time when there's a lot of protectionism and trade war that is getting escalated. the population of demographic dividend that we are talking about, if we can somehow boost the domestic consumption, that can really change the fortune of our economy and bring us back in the game and probably, hopefully, even put us on track to have a decent in terms of work in terms of maybe 5 years from now.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bhatt, for talking to us.